Systems and production methods can apply to a huge range of things, including manufacturing, data processing and printing. Printing includes things like packaging, magazines and newspapers. And of course for special events, printing publicity flyers always helps to pull in the crowds. A system is a collection of parts arranged to carry out a particular function. Arrange these components in the correct order. Which comes first in the production process? And what comes next? And next? And finally, there's feedback. An input is the thing that starts the system. It might be a switch or a sensor. It could also be data or even raw materials. The process is the mind of the system. It says what should happen when the input activates the system. Depending on the system, this might be some type of data processing, or it could be a physical process like cutting or printing. The output is what the system produces. It could be sounding a siren or turning a warning light on, or it could be a finished product, like an advertising flyer. Most systems have a fourth element known as feedback. Feedback means checking outputs to make sure the system is working correctly. This information is fed back into the system so it can be tweaked to perfection. For example, if the output is above acceptable limits, careful analysis of the feedback leads to a modification of the process. Adjust the system input to account for feedback. That's better. There are 4 main types of production method you can use, but the choice depends on the scale of production. One-off production is when only one of a product is made, like a special presentation book. It's labour-intensive and expensive, but high quality. Batch production is used when a fixed quantity of a product is needed, for example, concert programmes. Mass production is used for making high volumes of standardised products, but where elements of the product change regularly, like newspapers. Continuous flow production is similar to mass production, except the process never stops. It normally runs 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. It's used for high-volume products whose design rarely changes. For example, cereal packaging. There's also an approach called just-in-time production. This is not a type of production method on its own, but it's an approach that is used with batch, mass, or continuous production. It means buying raw materials so that they arrive in the factory only when they're needed. This saves money because manufacturers only need to buy enough materials to cope with current demand and don't end up with a store crammed full of materials. Suppose you need about 1,000 flyers to publicise an event. Which production method should you use? You wouldn't want to make 1,000 flyers individually, but it's not really enough for mass production. So it's a batch job. Quality control, known as QC, is a type of feedback. It involves checking a product after it is made to make sure that it's correct. Check the first run of flyers and see if they pass QC. Is the text accurate? Oh dear. Do the registration marks line up? Oh dear. That's better. The flyers are ready. Bring in the crowds. And there you have it, systems and production methods. They're not magic, but sometimes they can make people appear